This tour is all about giving players a chance to make their mark in the professional ranks. It's Europe's leading developmental tour with the ultimate goal to secure a place at the Tour Championships. And with the season drawing to a close, there's only 2 events left. This week we're here at Moor Allerton. Welcome to event 15 of the hotelplan.com PGA EuroPro Tour. There is no escaping the pressure as the race to Desert Springs enters the home stretch. Last week, events at Close House saw one man make a big statement in his quest to win a place on the Challenge Tour. Marcus Armitage there, taking his 2nd win of the season and staking his claim for a top 5 spot. Armitage moves up to 4th. Leading the way, Sam Connor, followed by Darren Wright. Longtime leader Gary King has slipped down to 3rd, while Aaron Rye, the winner at Mar Hall, has the last spot in the top 5. Players on the cusp include Paul Howard, Alan Dunbar, Neil Fenwick, Jordan Smith and Jamie Rutherford. The reality is a win for any one of our players in the first 29 positions could propel them into those crucial top 5 spots. Further down the field, it's more a case of making the top 50. Any shot dropped or gained can make all the difference. This week, the focus shifts to Yorkshire and a windswept Moor Allerton. It's the 3rd time our tour has visited this beautiful course, and we sent out our resident pro, Johnny Morgan, to give us his own unique look at the challenges coming up.
Just under 6,700 yards long and at a par 71, Moor Allerton is host to a 4-round event. First time in EuroPro history, and 12 grand to boot for the first prize. I mean, it's getting insane. EuroPro Tour's going through the roof and the boys are loving it. And I tell you what, they got a course to deal with as well. I mean, this course is pretty luscious. There's been some downpours out there. The wind's up as well, so the ball's not running on the fairways, plus the wind's causing havoc for their ball in the air. Greens are lovely and smooth. They're really soft, so they're going to get a lot of spin. The course isn't the longest golf course in the world, so that means coming in with some short irons, that means they're going to get a lot of juice on that ball, which means they could also create massive low rounds. So I think a low number this week could be on the cards.
One man who's consistently dominated the course here is Billy Hemstock. A 2-time winner, he'll be catching up with Kit Alexander a little bit later, who'll be attempting to unlock his secrets to winning here in Yorkshire.
There's a lot of different options off tees, so I tend to think less is better.
Over the next couple of hours, we will also continue our quest to complete the fantasy course. John Whitaker, the head pro here at Moor Allerton, tells us about the club's plans for the future and the challenge of playing this wonderful course.
A month's worth of rain in 2 days, so yeah, a lot of water, and it has been a little bit cooler at the start of the week, so yeah, all in all the course has played pretty tough.
And of course, Johnny Morgan will break down some of the key holes this week.
Fly ball. Fly like an eagle. Oh! God, go and have a look at that, haven't we?
All that to come, but now it's time to really focus on the matter in hand, the Clipper Logistics Players' Championship. It's our first ever 4-day event, and after the opening 3 rounds, it was Jamie Elson who was leading the way. He holds a 1-shot lead after rounds of 70, 69 and 68. He leads Mark Lasky, who made a big statement with a 3rd round of 66, and that puts him in contention going into the final round. James Lynch has steadily improved over the last 3 days with rounds of 71, 70 and 68. He's joined on 4 under by Craig Farrelly, who's carded 71 on the opening day, followed by 2 rounds of 69. They lead the way from Ozil, Wright and Casey, all on 2 under. There are then 7 players on 1 under, including Billy Hemstock, twice a winner here, and a man who could claim yet a 3rd victory. Another to note in that group is veteran Graham Clark, a man with the experience to surge up the leaderboard. Time now to pass you over to our commentary team. It's Simon Golding and Johnny Morgan.
Thank you, Laura. Well, conditions now looking absolutely beautiful, looking out across Blackmoor here in Leeds. As we heard, conditions have been a little bit ropey in terms of the rain and wind, but not the only course that has experienced that over the last few weeks. So time for the players to head into this final round, and obviously 4 rounds of golf suits this man, James Lynch, making his first cut of the season, and a chance, John, to prove himself on the final day.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, this might suit him. 4-round events, test your stamina out, your mentality of the game, you know, your will and determination. Can you keep the intensity going for all 4 days? And it's a good stepping stone for future golf, you know.
Yes, a lot of players in the past have commented on going from this tour to the Challenge Tour, and the fact that things do increase in terms of duration, and this is a great way to get used to that. Now, Billy Hemstock, this man was basically owned Moor Allerton for the last 2 years, winner in 2013 and 2014, and surely not 3 in a row.
Well, he took the words right out of my mouth. He does know this like the back of his hand. Got to think he's one of the favourites coming into this final round. As we see Lynch now, 3rd shot from the back. Oh, and that's scuttled down, got through the fringe nicely, and nice little uphill putt to save his par.
Yeah, we've got to give him some credit there, because there was a lot could have gone wrong with that. Well negotiated, young man. Now Hemstock. Chance here for an early move for Billy.
He knows every bit of grain of grass on these greens. He won't fear the return, knowing Billy. Still a little knee trembler to go, but this man, to save his par on the first, this is what you need. Nice confidence booster if you can knock one of these in. Oh, just always left on him. Went too straight at the hole. Took the borrow. Anyway, back to Hemi for par.
Yeah, very similar sort of angles here for Hemstock. And very nicely done. Playing alongside Graham Clark today. Another familiar face on the EuroPro Tour. Now, got to make sure that this drops. And it does. Very well done. Right, time to hear from John.
Well, boys are going to be opening up on the first hole, and I'll tell you what a first hole is. 450 yards. I mean, you come into this bottlenecky fairway right here in between 2 beautiful bunkers, and it's going to leave you no more than probably 6, 5 iron, depending on the wind conditions. Obviously, drive all the way downhill. You've got to hit it down the eye of a needle to get it into this point to boot. So a good first drive is very, very vital. Now, you know, come into the green, it's a little bit different. You've got a big slope from back to front. You've got 3 beautiful bunkers. The wind swirling beyond you here on the left-hand side and the right, so it could play havoc with your ball when you're coming in. Very, very tough for the boys, but what an opener. Get a par on this one, easy street, just what the doctor would order. Now, a few little practice swings, get myself in the zone and take dead aim. I've got a 7 iron in hand with about 175 to go, so a nice easy swing, wind off my left and down. and see if I can hit my cameraman, which I think I have. How good was that?
Yes, even if he says so himself. Nice one, John. Now look at that crowd just behind Mark Lasky on the first. What you don't get from that aerial shot that we saw earlier is just an appreciation of how this feeds in. It's a real bowl hitting down this fairway.
It is indeed. I mean, it's distance control off the tee, and look at that. I mean, you couldn't go and place that any better. It just does that little divot, and he's going to have a nice shot into the green as we see a swing now. Big wide takeaway. And look at that. I mean, this is probably the fittest guy on our tour right here. I think you wouldn't want to mess with him. He's a black belt in something, and he's a red belt in something else, and he can hang on rings. He's, yeah, Mr. Elastic Man.
Yes, he can do the Maltese cross on the gymnastic rings, and for those of you that have never tried, don't. It's too hard. Now then, playing alongside Jamie Elson today, another man with some previous on the EuroPro Tour and a very talented player in his own right, son of Pip Elson, who's played at this course in the past.
Yes, he has. Well, this man has got plenty of experience. Jamie, know him very well through our England days as amateurs. Hell of a swing, can obviously go extremely low, stroke-wise, leading this event.
So nicely done by those two. Our last group is away as we go to the fourth, and the Irishman, who's really been turning it on over the last few weeks, Brian Casey, tied fourth at Frilford, eighth at Chart Hills for the man from Headfort, and going along well at this tournament so far.
Yeah, that was a great shot in there. But now Jamie, similar yardage that you see me have at about 175 coming in. It sounded a bit heavy. That sounded heavy. That's going to be short.
Ooh, good call, John. Could have been worse as well. He may just have got away with that. We'll see. But a chance here for Lasky to really launch into it.
Oh, that's a strong swing. Good solid follow through. That is great balance. Stroke wide, bang on the button, pin high of the stick. Got his yardages spot on. And he's working them salsa hips that he likes to do as well. Loves his dancing. Don't take him on a dance contest on the dance floors. I think you'll lose.
So first blood to the Welshman in that group. Let's get back to another Celt, Irishman Casey. Oh, look at the way he's had to line this up. Slides it down beautifully. That is sweet as you like from Brian.
Mate, that's poetry in motion. And he knows it. I mean, he had to aim that at least 4 or 5 feet outside the right, and just dead weight. The weight of the putt had to be spot on, or it'd never go in, and, well, just putted it to perfection. Now, Elson did dodge that bullet. Missing that bunker, coming up the green, chip and run. Is he giving it enough? Go on, keep going. Nope. A little bit of work to be done for Jamie on his first hole.
Another familiar face on the EuroPro Tour, Steve Uzzell, the big man, the left-hander.
Well, they all work hard on this tour, on their games, and this man definitely inching forward bit by bit, trying to find his little niche and on how to do it. And he's playing with one of our top players this season, Darren Wright as well, who's on a bit of a crest of a wave. And then we got Lasky now. Open up with a birdie. Can he do it? Oh, just shave the lip on the left-hand side, and, well, maybe a bit more pace, and that would have hit the dead center of the cup, but, you know, wasn't easy. Yeah, just need to consolidate your start, get a nice solid par. Don't do anything too crazy and ram it all the way past and leave yourself a knee trembler coming back on the very first hole.
Well, good to see this young man in great form once again here at Moor Allerton, and Kit Alexander spoke to him ahead of this final round.
I'm catching up with Mark Lasky, who shot a scintillating 66 in the third round here at Moor Allerton. Mark, tell us about the highlights of that round for you today.
Hold a few good putts today, that really got it going. Nice birdie at 3, hold about 20 footer there, little one down the hill, just got the ball rolling. Nearly made eagle at the par 5, 5th is it, and then just kept the run going out on the course today.
Did you feel your game was in good shape coming into this week and this round particularly?
Yeah, I came 7th last week, so the game feels good, feel in control of it. It's tough in the wind to get close, controlling your spin is quite a big thing, but so far it's been pretty good.
That 7th place finish last week came off a bit of a layoff with injury. Can you tell us what happened?
Yeah, my appendix flared up out of nowhere, so straight to hospital and had that out. So that was 3 weeks out. So it's just great to get back playing again now.
You're 5 under par for the total now. I think the leaders out on the course are at 6. They're probably not going to get much beyond that. So maybe 1 or 2 off the lead going into the final round. How are you going to approach that?
I think just keep trying to set up birdie chances. You've got to leave the ball definitely below the flag this week. So I just keep checking the pin positions and leave some easy putts, hopefully.
So Mark Lasky playing pretty well post-appendix and playing alongside this man, Elson, who's got a smelly one here.
This one's coming off the right a little bit, and nicely done. Nice up and down. Nice start to his round.
Yeah, good read from Jamie. It's going to be a nice contest between those two. Now, can the likes of Azelle get in amongst it? I always find watching left-handers, John, just that little bit awkward as a right-hander.
Oh, I tell you what, I'm envious of them. They seem like they got a rhythm like no one else. I don't know what it is being left-handed. It seems to just create something. And there we go. Phil Mickelson like just holding putts for fun.
Smooth as you like then from the man they call the Gazelle here on the EuroPro Tour, and Steve Azelle solidly away. Now, Jamie Elson at 6 under remains there after that first hole. Chance for Mark Lasky to catch him immediately, but that didn't happen. But plenty of great golf to come in this one. And we spoke to Jamie Elson ahead of the final round. Let's hear from him.
Jamie, you've got an illustrious golf career behind you. Started off at Augusta State University over in the States. How was that experience?
Oh, it was wonderful, yeah. If I hadn't gone over there, I don't think I'd have had a professional career. The coach we had over there, who's gone on to do great things at University of Alabama and win numerous national championships over there, was a bit of a father figure to me, really, for those 4 years, and developed my game, you know, to a stage where I had an opportunity to take it up as a profession. And
that led on to a Walker Cup appearance in 2001?
Yeah, fantastic experience down at one of the best courses in the world, at Ocean Forest, the Sea Island, and we had one of the best teams ever, you know, some players that have gone on to win major championships, and we won with a record victory, so fantastic week.
And your father was also a European Tour pro.
Yeah.
Were you kind of destined to follow in his footsteps?
I don't know about destined, but you know, it's something that I always wanted to do from a very young age, and he obviously had a big influence in me taking up the game, and I was a little kid when he was playing in European Tour events. In fact, he actually played the tour event here. I think it was the Car Care in 79 or 80 or something like that. So yeah, my dad was a really good player, and he finished in the top 60 of the Order of Merit on the European Tour for 10 straight years, so he was a very good player.
Having played at all the different levels through golf, what is the difference between EuroPro, Challenge Tour, and then stepping up to the European Tour?
There's really not much difference. Well, certainly between Challenge Tour and European Tour. I mean, the Challenge Tour, the scores guys are winning with these days is just unbelievable. EuroPro, you know, there's a bigger field, and 168 guys is pretty tough in itself, you know, because you've got to beat 167 guys every week. So, you know, it's probably not as, the depth of it probably isn't as strong, but certainly the top 10-20% of excellent players, players. So it takes a lot to win, and that's what I'll be trying to do today.
With victory in mind, Jamie Elson holds the narrowest of leads as he heads to the second, but the chasing pack is gearing up for an exciting 4th and final day here at Moor Allerton.
Well, I'm with Johnny Ellis from Moor Allerton and Guy Jackson from Clipper Logistics. Lads, thank you both for joining me. Johnny, we'll come to you first. Just tell us about how excited you are to have this at your home course.
Well, it's an honour for Moor Allerton to have this first 4-day tournament. We are very privileged to have you guys here. The weather's helped us in the last few days. Saturday was terrible, as we know. The greens were a little bit soft, but we've had a great tournament, and we always do.
And what about this partnership that you have together with Clipper Logistics? How special is that?
It's great. Steve Parkin, who's the chairman of Clipper, is a personal friend of the club and myself, and he's very into sponsoring golf. He loves golf, and it's great for him to be able to be aligned with Moor Allerton, aligned with this tour, because to be honest with you, without him, without a good sponsor, it'd be difficult for a club in the north to be able to actually finance such a tournament.
And perfectly, we bring it on to Guy. Guy, tell us about your involvement with the EuroPro Tour. It's been going on for 3 years now. Tell us about how special that involvement is.
Well, as Johnny was saying, Steve's had a close relationship with the club, as have Clipper for some time, and it's great for us to be able to support local clubs like Moor Allerton. On the other hand, it's also great for us to support the tour and the young lads who are out there playing golf. I had the pleasure of playing with Darren Wright on Tuesday. Well, I say pleasure, he showed my golf up, that's for sure. But you know, listening to him talk, you realise, well, actually it's a tough gig for these lads, you know, and they need all the support they can get. It's been a great success for us, and I think it has for the club.
Yeah, I think for the club we've tried year on year to improve. This is the first year for a four-day tournament, the first 4-day tournament for you guys as well. And as Guy said, it's very difficult for these guys, very difficult indeed, very, very, very hard. You showed by the people that entered. We had 160 players, I think 156 players, 93 on the reserve list. It's amazing the amount of people who want to play. It's difficult, and we welcome you back again next year.
Excellent, guys. It was so lovely to catch up with you, and thank you so much. Lovely to meet you both. Thank you, Johnny. Thank you, Guy. We'll hand you back over now to our commentary team.
Thanks, Laura. Well, it's a real pleasure to be back here at Moor Allerton. And a look at the 5th, bathed in sunlight. But it's not all good at this hole. You've got to play this one carefully.
You do indeed. This 5th is a tough cookie. Now, this pin on the right-hand side, in this front portion of this green, you have to be spot on. Long iron in hand for Casey. Oh, that is an absolute peach Melba. He couldn't land that any better. Landed on the green nice and soft. That just shows you how much weather they had the previous weekend. Simon?
Yes, and even with tough pin positions, get your yardages right, trust yourself, and you can really attack them. Now Elson, par at the 1st and 2nd to stay at 6 under, the tournament leader. And, well, very conservative with that approach.
Yeah, dodgy pin though, that left-hand side of the 3rd. I mean, anything just missing to the left of that green, I mean, you're not going to see your ball ever again.
Now Armitage got his hat screwed on firmly in this wind, I hope.
It's amazing, this man's in a rich vein of form.
Yes, like King, 2 wins on the EuroPro Tour this year. I was wondering if we were going to see someone achieve that, but he has, and with golf like that, you can see why.
Great shot he hit in here, and this is how he done it. What a swing, yeah, he just shot it parallel. Beautiful, holding it off nicely as well, because that pin back right, controlling the distance and the spin of the ball. Stroke wise, he's only got about an 8-10 footer for his birdie. Now Casey, after a tall, high rising iron shot to here for eagle, coming down the slope. Has he got another? He has indeedy.
Oh, what a start for Casey. Well, it was obvious, wasn't it, when he hit that long iron, just how quickly he got the elevation.
Well, the thing is, you know, long irons, they're stopping dead. You can take dead aim with 3 irons, 2 irons, whatever you want. Now, Elson down the hill from distance, catches this slope and then feeds back from left to right. Has he got it? No, this one's got to calm down. Oh, there's still a little bit of meat left on that bone.
Well, he's had nothing easy for birdie, and he's left himself with a couple of tricky ones for par as well so far, Elson. Now Armitage looking for reward. And that is just not fair.
Yeah, that hurts. That hurts after such a great shot. You know, you don't leave yourself very much, and such a difficult hole, this 8th hole, and what a beauty it actually is. So picturesque and beautiful for the eye, but not meant to be for the young lad.
Now, after a beautiful tee shot, absolute pain for Marcus Armitage. Now, Azelle, still got a few shots to find before he's back up with the leaders, and knew that he could get some spin on that one. Controlled it beautifully. Now Armitage to tidy up at the 8th, and this is where you keep your fingers crossed. Oh, well, there we go. Marcus Armitage has his par, but he knows it could have been so much better. Now then, let's take a look at the 5th with John Morgan.
Well, the boys are coming to number 5, a par 5. It's 490 yards. and it's difficult. It's uphill, it's rising from left to right. The fairway slopes from right to left down into a hazard that starts from, well, it's from start to finish, and it's always there, and you'll always see it, so it's going to be in your back of your mind. If you hug it up the right, which is the plan really, you bring in the trees and you bring in the gore, so it's so difficult. You need to be so positive in the brain to get a good drive here, because if you don't, you ain't getting there in two. That is a fact, because you haven't even seen the second shot yet, but I'm going to show you. First of all, this baby's got to do the trick. Aim at the middle of the fairway, drift it off from left to right. It's playing full yardage because it's a bit damp underfoot. So I slightly open my stance, open up the club face and swing it across my line and hopefully fade it. Booyah! That'll do us. Come on, let's go have a look. Dummy yardages, I got about 215 yards to go, slightly up the hill. A little bit of breeze is coming off my left as well, so that makes it harder because I've got to draw it if I want to get it close to that pin. Now I'm taking it on. I'm going to go right edge of this left-hand bunker and I'm going to draw it off it. Obviously ball above my stance as well. It's going to help me do that. So I can take dead aim at it, and if I leak it out to that right, no problems really. I'll be able to clear the water and I'll be safe, but I'll have a long putt for an eagle, but I'll be still on the green. But if I take it on, which I'm going to do, and it don't come off, well, any number could happen. Now 3 iron, out of my boots. Fly ball, fly, fly like an eagle, fly like an eagle. Oh, oh. God, go and have a look at that, haven't we? When we come up on the green, you can just see how amazing it is. Fantastic setting, trees wrapped around, some lovely plants and everything, lots of colour around this green in general. And as we come up on it, you can see my shot, and no wonder I was over the moon, because I didn't realise how actually close that was. And I tell you what, if I'd had about a foot less carry, it might have slam dunked for a juicy 2. But you know, there it is, eagle. You got to believe me, that was my first whack. And I tell you what, I'm proud as punch. I mean, I'm going to give this a little knee trembler of an eagle chance on this hole. I haven't had one yet. I've played this hole a few times. I'm over the moon with it. You know, this one's just outside the left. Done its little lap of honour, fallen in for a nice little 3. And I tell you what, if the boys can get a 3 on this one, tell you what, muscle power, and the boys can win.
Nice one, John. I knew we'd get a fade out of you before the season was over.
Yeah, I think we were there for an hour to try and hit a fade, and I finally got one.
So Lynch, the next man to take this on. I do love the way holes are constructed when they're like this. They give you the impression that there's space out there, but my goodness me, there's some terrible pitfalls if you're not careful.
Yeah, paints a nice picture for you. Just go with it, as we see Elson now trying to get his par on this difficult 3rd. Just shaving the left-hand side of the lip. And that's going to be a 5. I'd be disappointed with that one, knowing Jamie. But he won't let it get him down. He kind of wipes the slate clean very quickly, Simon.
That's the way to be. But he drops back to 5 under. Gives the rest a bit of a chance. Uzel then can close the gap to just 1. Putting very nicely today.
Yeah, over at Chart Hills, I was having a chat with him. He was a little bit struggling with his putting, but he's been working extremely hard with it and looking like he's reaping the rewards.
Now, can Lynch get there from this lie?
He can indeed. He can just need a good contact. Yeah, look at that.
Beautiful.
Pretty much exactly where Casey was, probably a little bit closer. And we know what that putt does. It's pretty rapid down that hill.
And again, you can see the boys letting those softer green conditions do the work as they come in. Now, Lasky, he's going to be interested after watching Elson miss his putt. Drive all important here, as John has already said, and the applause in the background tells you everything you need to know about that one. Lasky is splitting fairways for fun today.
He is. Well, I tell you what, dissected that one lovely. Now, this is an interesting play. Out with the iron for Jamie. You have to par in the 4th. Trying to steady the ship now, try and get a birdie back, but that looks like that's come out right. Leaned into that one, opened the fit. Oh my goodness. Gone for safety and found trouble.
Oh dear, no, you do not want to do that. That's one of those where you want to see it bounce back out, but I think that's gone. Now, Lynch just has to touch it down the hill.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Simon, I don't know if you've seen this, but just as he hit the ball jumped in the air a good inch and a half. And that would have definitely taken off its line. But not meant to be an eagle, but a birdie nonetheless, and a very good birdie at that on this difficult 5th hole. Now look at this. Spot of trouble for Jamie, but he's found it. He's got half a swing, can punch it out, get it back on the fairway. Oh, and just clipped the side of the right bush there. And he's, well, didn't get it to the position he needed it to be. A monster shot if he wants to get there in 3.
Not the best of starts for Elson. Now Armitage had success on this course before, 3rd back in 2013, and that was a little bit unexpected, John.
Well, he's giving it the old Phil Mickelson, hasn't he? Straight up his nostril. Landed it on the green nice and softly. Yeah, well executed.
Golden opportunity here for Lasky to steal a march on his playing partner.
Oh, that sounded a crisp strike. He's eyeballing it. Oh, right over the stick. Just half a club, probably too much, and that was right next to the hole. It's going to be a difficult putt from there, downhill, left to righter, but he's on the green.
Yeah, he's in better shape than Elson, that's for sure. Now, James Lynch been impressed by the way that this young man has conducted himself in his first final round on the EuroPro Tour, and it continues.
He's chucking darts there. Nice shot by Lynch. Now, Jamie, this is his 4th, laid up with his 3rd to here. Not going in with a very lofted club. Going to have a lot of backspin. Send it past maybe. Bit of backspin down the hole. We'll soon see. Yeah, there it is. Good move that is. Takes the water out of play. You can be very positive with your 4th there, and that's going to give him an opportunity to save his par.
Yeah, some tidy thinking there from Elson, who's under a lot of pressure at the moment at 5. Now Armitage. Oh, how about that? Well, he couldn't find it on a slightly easier putt after that beautiful tee shot earlier, but he's found it there. Great up and down.
Yeah, that looked like it was missing, but no, it grabbed the hole nicely and fell in.
Now he's smiling. Now, great chance for a gallery to follow 2 players that are virtually involved in a match play at the moment. There are lots of others in pretty close proximity to these 2 at 5 under, but Lasky and Elson in a real duel here. This would be golden for Mark Lasky.
Come out of that, he knows that's bottom side, but he wants that cozied up near the hole. It might run away from him a little bit, which it does.
Going. Yeah, still going.
It does. It just shows you how severe that green is. Now Lynch, this would be a lovely birdie, wouldn't it? After a great approach shot in.
Absolutely, and thoroughly deserved from Lynch. Well, we've spoken plenty about him. Let's hear from the young man himself.
James, it's your first season on the EuroPro Tour. You're a new name to many of our viewers. Tell us a bit about your golfing history.
I did a bit of amateur stuff, bit of county stuff for Sussex. Turned pro earlier this year after doing quite well at Q School, and sort of just learnt from there really, and kind of just try and get better each event.
And how's the transition from amateur to professional been for you this year?
It's been quite tough. I haven't done as well at each event as I'd hoped, and sort of try and learn, reflect upon it, and get better at the next one. What
have been the big things you've learned so far this year?
Not necessarily go flag hunting all the time. You know, sometimes there's even making bogey can be a good score. So try and keep the doubles off the card. Play safe when needed to, but kind of enjoy it. Stick to a process and just kind of learn from each shot, each event. This year was just to learn and get better. The big goal is to get on the European Tour at some point. So, this is just a stepping stone. If I can just keep getting better, keep improving, the results will come.
And you're having a great week here at Moor Allerton.
Yeah.
Was it a course you expected to do well around?
I always expect to do well. I just wanted to put in places the things I've been working on, and that has seemed to work this year. Seemed to have worked.
Well, he seems happy and relaxed, and he's in the hutch.
Now, can Elson get in the hole? No, he can't. Well, these are worrying times for Elson, John.
Yeah, that was a scrappy hole for Jamie. I mean, it all stemmed from the tee shot. Played for safety and, well, obviously trouble. And that's stroke-wise got a bogey. But now, Lasky for birdie. 2-shot swinger right here.
Oh, you're absolutely right, John. Played the hole very crisply indeed. He's a player that can sometimes look a little disappointed with birdies and eagles, but I can tell you inside he isn't. Now Lynch, experiencing something that we don't always talk about on the EuroPro Tour. now you're a pro golfer on the television, you're going to have a camera stuck in your face now and again, and you've got to learn to cope with the interviews and the silly questions from us lot as well.
Well, that's the truth.
Oh,
you're going to
dear.
get some stick and, you know, some good laughs. But, you know, that was a difficult one. But, you know, it's nice. This is a good breeding ground for kids like this, for Lynch. You know, he comes here, he enjoys his golf. He's playing lovely golf. We see this nice drivey swing down and through. Wasn't meant to be this particular hole that he's hit a cracker. But, you know, this is good experience. You know, like you say, camera in your face. You've got to learn to deal with it, because this is what you want to do for a living.
Well, he finally laughed that shot off, but Lynch has got a few problems. Now, Lasky, not a care in the world at the moment, moves himself into the lead on his own at this tournament, and, well, was hoping just to get a little bit of spin on that to come back, but it stayed.
See, the difficulty with that, though, Simon, the green is below you, and, you know, getting your yardage spot on is very difficult to do. You know, the fairway runs away from you and down, so very difficult to get the height. As we see Lynch now with the same kind of thing on the back of this green.
Very hot.
And catching the downslope and just holding on. I mean, his feet might be in the bunker. Might be an awkward stance for him for his third. We see Lasky now. Now, this is a big break. This comes way from the right-hand side. You're going to see this one at least 4 or 5 feet aimed out. It's going to break now. Oh, just didn't hit it.
Tough to get a strike on that as well, up against the fringe.
Yeah, normally you get the old Texas wedge out, you know, blade it with the iron and kind of skip it through that first 2-3 feet.
Just what this man's going to try and do.
Yeah, bump to the edge of the green, let it release. Yeah, not his Sunday best, or Saturday best, shall I say?
Yeah, good point. Good point. We've got some marvellous crowds here at Moor Allerton to watch this weekend finish to the tournament. And for Lasky, he's given it straight back again.
It was a nervy putt. Not an easy green to read on. Lots of slopes. But Lynch now to save a bogey, which he does.
Yeah, well, he said you've got to be happy with a bogey now and again. Let's hope he's happy with that one after a wayward tee shot.
And Lasky with a little tap in for his bogey. Shouldn't have any problems with this one. Now he heads to the 8th, the difficult 8th, par 3.
Yes, and now Mark Lasky does have every right to look a little bit hangdog as he walks away from that green, because he's moved back into a share of the lead. This time, though, with Steve Azell, Jamie Elson dropping from 6 under back to 4 under in a share of third with Brian Casey. Plenty of tales still to be told, I think, in this final round here at Moor Allerton. Now, time to update you on our fantasy golf course with Marcus Armitage, winner last week at Close House.
Hi, I'm Marcus Armitage, the Trio Life champion at Close House. My fantasy golf hole is 17. It's a great par 5. You get a good tee shot away. You know, the second shot's pretty tricky because there's trees just left of the fairway, and it's a great risk and reward hole. If you go for it over the trees, you know, you can make birdie quite easily.
Things getting tighter at the top as Jamie Elson surrenders his lead, and Mark Lasky and Steve Azell take up the challenge in the Clipper Logistics Players' Championship. More to come from Moor Allerton after the break.
Welcome back to the Clipper Logistics Players' Championship here at Moor Allerton in North Yorkshire. We're in the final round, and it's time now to head back over to your commentary team, Simon Golding and Johnny Morgan.
Thanks, Laura. Well, our leading groups starting to approach the turn now, and this is what will greet them, the 9th. And Steve Azell just preparing for his second into this par 4. It looks a dream, doesn't it, from the air?
No, it does. Kamikaze fairway, kamikaze green. Whew. Big step in this fairway as well. I mean, you just catch the slope and it feeds all the way down to the right-hand side, exactly where Steve Azell is now for his second. And this pin is back left, which is on the 3rd tier. Got to be spot on with this one to find the right place. Ooh. Bit of spin off the bank. No, not meant to be, and that's going to be a little tricky third.
You could see what the joint leader was trying to do there. Just overcooked it. Now, Sandeep Grewal, as this man had some good performances on the EuroPro Tour over the years. He's had some sublime rounds of golf. He really has. It always fascinates me why certain players just don't kick on. And Grewal certainly fits that category.
Yeah, he had a very good amateur career. Now he's in the pro ranks. They'll go with the slope weight-wise, just a little bit behind it, and it's worked for him, scooted out. I tell you what, a little bit more, I think that would have disappeared for a 3. But Casey, for par, slots it in. Impressed with this boy. Good form last week at Close House with Armitage, and now fighting for it again.
Yeah, still in the hunt. Here's Brian Casey. Now, this for a bit of a messy par if he gets it. But I'm afraid for Sandeep, it's going to be an even messier bogey. That's a shame. First time we've seen him in action in this final round, and unfortunately comes up with 1 over par.
Now this one, a little breaker from left to right, left lip, little dribble, or just inside left firm. Nice.
Yes, indeed. Zell maintains his share of the lead. Now then, time to speak to the head pro here at Moor Allerton, James Whittaker. Kit Alexander caught up with him.
James, it's the 3rd successive year you've had the EuroPro Tour here. How important is it for the club and the members?
It's very important. It's a real good showcase for us. And it's something we've enjoyed year on year. It's got bigger and better for us. So, yeah, we really enjoy having the event.
And a 4-day event rather than the traditional 3-day at this time. How did that come about?
It was something we talked about with the tour a couple of years ago, and it seemed like a good idea. The sponsor, Clipper Logistics, were always interested in making it the biggest event on the tour.
Hearing from a few of the players that the course is playing a bit differently this year than it has the last 2.
Yeah, the wind's completely different. So, yeah, like the final hole, I think, you know, it's a bit of a struggle for them to get there in 2, where the previous years they've been hitting irons into it on the par 5, whereas this year they can't get there. So, yeah, it's completely different.
And a little bit softer as well due to the extra rain this summer, is that fair to say?
Yeah, we had, I think we had 38 mil at the weekend, so yeah, that's a month's worth of rain in 2 days. So yeah, a lot of water, and it has been a little bit cooler at the start of the week. So yeah, all in all, the course has played pretty tough.
Yeah, top bloke, James, really is. Does a lot for his golf club, and brought this tournament here and created a 4-day event, and full credit to him. Moor Allerton must be proud of their head pro. I know they look up to him, and he does a lot for them.
And still plenty of good golf to come as we head through this 4th day. Lasky. Oh, it's just beautiful. He's played some great golf so far today.
Mate, his balance through the ball, Simon, is absolutely fantastic. Solid as a rock. It's definitely a thing, you know, definitely be fit in this game if you can be. It definitely helps.
Now Armitage 2 back, but a lot of terrain to negotiate for his birdie here.
Yeah, up and over the hill, slight left from right. Oh, nearly dove in. Not quite though. It's a little tricky one left. But he's a very confident lad at the moment, playing some good golf. Now Lasky for a great 2 on the 8th. You won't see many today. Oh, and that went straight right. Now that was a little wobble. I mean, the greens are soft. People are walking around them. You know, there's a few indentations with the feet or anything like that when you walk around the hole, and maybe that was just one of them. You never know. Can't be helped. Got to take the rough with a smooth.
Well, that's 2 golden opportunities that Lasky hasn't taken. I hope he doesn't come to rue those. I'm talking to 2s. Our second 2-time winner on the tour, Armitage, shoves that one back past again, and he's got even more work to do.
Yeah, that's ooh, when you want to wipe from the memory bank. It was a bit bold and brave and to the left. But now Grewal for a birdie across the green. I seem to be talking about downhill putts all day, and Lasky said you definitely got to leave yourself below the hole on these greens, and everyone seems to be leaving themselves above it at the moment, and that is not what you need around a course like this. Now Armitage for a 3-putt, nearly a 4-putt, but gets away with it.
Yeah, puff of the cheeks there from Marcus, not smiling now as he moves away from the 13th. Now in the distance, Lasky with his tee shot at the 9th.
Yeah, breeze is picking up. You can see these trees. And this one drifting from left to right. It's playing down onto the bottom level of this fairway. You can see it kick. And every ball, if you get it going, will finish in that neck of the woods there, which is a difficult second shot. You can see he's out with the 3-wood, which is a good, safe play. Look at the strength, his glutes there, and he fires that left hip out the way, an extension through the ball, and great balance yet again from Mark Lasky, and a nice solid shot down the fairway.
Yeah, and complete relaxation in the facial muscles as well. No grimace at all. That man is in absolute control at the moment. Now, Graham Clark, sniffer, has had wins on the EuroPro Tour in the past, moves up to the Challenge Tour a few years ago and now back onto the EuroPro. And a player that tends to be there or thereabouts.
And this man, with all the local knowledge, he knows it's tied for the lead after birdies at 11 and 12. Never ceases to amaze me. Is he going for a hat-trick like you said earlier, Simon?
Well, that would be a record on the EuroPro Tour, and it certainly isn't beyond the realms. Playing alongside Clark today, they'll have plenty to talk about. Now back to the lefty, Azell at 11.
Yeah, Azell out with the medium iron. Back to 7, just bringing this one in from left to right. A draw for a left-hander, and what a shot that is. Yeah, a tall, towering beauty.
Now Hemstock, an outside opportunity for birdie, but as we've already seen on a couple of holes today, if you're not careful, you can leave yourself with a nasty one. So pace, control very important, and watch it run on. Another downhill putt, John, and another nasty one coming back up the slope.
Well, Mark Lasky said it all at the start of the day. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Keep yourself below the hole. But it's easier said than done, as we see. Sandeep, can he tap this one in for par? He does indeed. Nice red stride, Sandeep. Looking good.
Yeah, she said about keeping yourself below the hole, but there's a few pin positions where there is no below.
No, you're right there. There's a very fine margin for perfection in this game, and, well, Graham coming up way short there. Now, that was uphill, but very slow. He had to give that an almighty whack to get up by the hole. As we come to Lasky now, ball below his stance. 7-iron in hand, going to rip through this one. Try and carry that bunker on the left-hand side that's guarding that pin position. The trouble is you don't want to miss this green long. It leaves you an awkward chip, and that is very, very good indeed. He could sell that one to the rest of the players this round.
Now Hemstock, unfortunately for him, didn't get much of a read at all from Clark's putt, but he knows he's got to hit it, and hit it he does. And unfortunately, after those two fantastic birdies at 11 and 12, a stumble from Billy. Back to Azell.
A little 12-footer here. Now this would be lovely for Steve. Oh, just drifted off from right to left there. And that's why it just missed to the left. And that's a 3 though, but a good 3 nonetheless. The 11th is no easy hole. Little tough cookie.
Clark then. Second go. And trundles it in.
Ooh, and he knows. Oh, thank you very much. He'd have had a good read off of Billy though on his putt, so he knew the line, just dribbled it a bit too much. And Billy left himself now a little trembler down the hill. It was a good effort though, his first one.
Yeah, good confident strike from Hemstock, but drops a shot unfortunately at 13. Some of the members watching on and the pro.
And all getting inspired. These players are showing them how it should be done. As they come to Lasky now across the green at the back, and 9 is tracking, it's tracking, it's tracking. Oh, what a great pace putt. And you can just hear the crowd there. They acknowledge how difficult that actually was. Coming down the hill from right to left. And it's definitely one of those greens you want to see the back of.
Yeah, get your par and be happy. And it looks like Mark Lasky is exactly that. All elements of his game looking very, very good at the moment. And that share of the lead with Uzel at 5 under. And it's Armitage and Hemstock tied for third on 4 under. And pre this final round, Kit Alexander caught up with the 2-time winner here at Moor Allerton, Billy Hemstock.
Billy, you've won here at Moor Allerton the last 2 seasons. What does it take to play well around this course?
It's the kind of course where you need a good game plan. And having played well around here, I know what sort of shots you need. Generally, there's a lot of different options off tees, so I tend to think less is better. You can lay up into some good areas, and then there's going to be chances. This year's a bit different because it's more windy and it's been a bit softer, so the course has been longer, so it's a bit tougher.
What are the type of shots specifically that you'll be called upon to play around here?
It's kind of like a few rescue clubs, sort of 220 yard, 230 yard sort of shots, really.
Despite the extra round, we've seen scoring be a bit tougher and not quite as good this year. The guys haven't got to double figures. What would you attribute that to?
I think the course is, there's so much rain the day before the Pro-Am, so it's playing a lot longer than it has been, and it's been really windy as well. So yeah, it just makes it a lot tougher, especially on some of the raised greens. The greens are treacherous as they are, so with the wind, it can make it very tough out there.
Hemstock certainly mastering the conditions. He's just a shot off the leaders now and looking good for a record-breaking 3rd title here at Moor Allerton.
Welcome back to Moor Allerton in North Yorkshire, where the wind is really starting to pick up and the players are halfway through their final round. But it's time to get you back into the action with our commentary team, Johnny Morgan and Simon Golding.
Thanks, Laura. Well, the wind picking up here at Moor Allerton. That may have an influence as we come into the closing stages of this tournament, but this is how things stand. Uzel and Lasky out in the lead at 5 under, but they've got plenty of players around them for company, and one wrong step and it's going to be pretty straightforward to close the gap.
Yeah, you might see Lasky now teeing off the 10th. Might have to put a jumper on. It's getting a bit perky out there. And that's a nice shot, just feeding down on the left-hand side. That'll just catch the left rough, won't go too far into the trees, and that kind of opens up quite a nice shot to this green. Very lofted one. Concentration on his face, as you can see. Now Casey, 1 foot outside the bunker, 1 foot in, jam it down at the back of the ball and pop this baby out with a little bit of spin and just kill it a little bit. And that's very nicely done on a very difficult green. He'd be happy with that. He'd want better, because we all want better, but you've got to learn how to take your medicine.
Yeah, still at 3 under, like this man Clark. Here's Casey, but Casey just dropping away a little bit. Whereas Graham Clark's been a while since we've seen him come up with a big result on the EuroPro. No top 20s this season. Now, John, the par 3 15th, a monster. How do you tame it?
Well, I don't think there is taming this beast of a par 3. I mean, only 32 birdies, as you can see, all through this tournament. And it's the green that's the biggest problem. The length, obviously, 200 odd yards, but you need to find that putting surface and you need to be in the right place. I mean, you miss this green in the wrong area, you got no chance of getting up and down or getting your chip close to the hole. It really is a brute for these players. But the first thing to do, just like Billy's trying to do, is find the dance floor and then work it from there. And this is a tall, high-rising shot. Doesn't matter what kind of iron you're going to hit. These greens are soft, they're going to stop dead. And with this awkward pin position here on the left-hand side, you know, you only got to go about 6 feet past and it's going to swell down into the bunker. Now, Lasky out of the left rough, wedge in hand, just flop it up in the air, let the wind take control of it, work it to the flag, and look at that. What a shot by Mark Lasky, setting up another birdie opportunity.
It's just getting better and better for the Brocket Hall man.
The man is in the zone, just like this man, Casey, after last week. Another putt for birdie. Oh.
Well, that's a shame after the work from the bunker. I know the phrase "he deserved that" doesn't really apply in this sport, but he certainly should have. Now, let's head to the 16th, 384-yard par 4, John.
It is, and one of those you can try and dominate. You know, see this bunker on the right-hand side that's coming out. You can get driver out and take it on. And if you can carry that, you leave yourself not much in whatsoever. But if you want to play safe, long iron down the left-hand side, opens this green lovely, funnels in from the left-hand side and kind of drifts in from left to right as well. Big slope on this green, just like every green on this golf course. Very, very difficult, but you must be in the right place when you hit into this 16th hole.
Armitage not quite in the right place, in amongst the trees, so just has to scuttle this one out, keep it low and underneath, and he's just got away with it there, I think, as Armitage.
Yeah, he worked the ball fantastically from left to right, just overcooked it a little bit. Now, magic hands required from Graham. Pitching it in the bank, but as you can see, just the moisture that's on the greens, as soon as it lands, it's not releasing like it would normally, Simon. I mean, you know, you can just see how damp it is out there. But this is coming to Lasky now. This will be a get out of jail free card after pulling his drive off the tee. Can he make a 3? He does indeedy.
Very well done, Mark Lasky, and that moves him to the lead all on his own again at 6 under. Now, last time he did that, he gave it straight back. See if he can hold on to it. Now, Hemstock, so far so good on the back 9, just that blip at 13. This, though, to move him back to 5 under, and he hasn't hit that. Well, that's a strange putt from Billy Hemstock.
I'm just wondering if that 13th hole's playing a little bit of havoc on his mind, you know, just a little bit confidence. You know, he wrapped one past, that one's a long way short. Might just play the trick on him as we come to Armitage. Now this would be a 3. Can he get away with one? We've seen him chip in at close house. Well, nearly done it again. He's only got a little tap in for a par, though.
Well, that would have been very, very entertaining after moving it out of the trees and onto the green. Now Clark for par.
Yeah, this would be a great scramble if he can make 3 here. Keep going, keep going, keep going. No, not to be. Lacking the legs for Mr. Clark. But he's always smiling, Sniffer.
He is, isn't he?
He's a jolly chap.
Now Armitage, I think he'll take par after the tee shot.
He definitely will.
So 2 holes to do something, and moves to the 17th tee at 4 under and still in it.
Now Hemstock, you know, he needs some putts to drop because Lasky's making birdies. This for a par. Yes, nicely done.
Yeah, well done, Hemstock. He got a birdie at 12. Let's go and have a look at that hole with Johnny Morgan.
Well, at 520 yards, this is the 12th hole, and what a totally different hole from the 5th, you know, which is a monster up and around the corner and uphill. This one, downhill tee shot. Kind of it's got that downhill kind of vibe second shot, but it's not. A little raised green at the very end. But this is one that the boys are going to be able to dominate. They really are. They're going to be able to open up them shoulders, get the driver out and give it some welly. I went for one, caught it a little bit necky, a little bit further back than what I like, probably about 210 yards to go. I think most of the players will probably have about 180. Now they can really dominate. This is their chance to make a birdie, if not an eagle, to go on and win this tournament. This is a golden opportunity, and they're going to take it with both hands. Some of them will, some of them won't. But you know, that's the nature of the beast. That's the love of golf. That's why we keep coming back for more. Because one day it happens for you, and the next minute it doesn't. Now I've got a 4-iron. I'm aiming right edge of this green. As you can see, wind is slightly off my right and down. So it's playing a lot shorter, this yardage. And like I say, the ground's very damp, so the ball's not running. Playing very difficult. Now, straight out our Mr. Nice cameraman, Dougie there. Take him on. It's flying, it's drifting. Keep coming, baby. Find that dance floor. It has. Release up that green. Get close, get close. Eagle chances, and that's what the boys could have this week. Well, talking about dominating par 5s, this man, stats-wise, is showing that par 5s is his game. He's something like 60 under par so far this year on par 5s alone.
Yeah, it's a mental stat, but Darren Wright is king of the birdies.
Sorry, I've actually got that wrong. It's 50 under par for the par 5s and 60 under for like all his rounds of golf.
It's
unbelievable.
unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. It really is. This man is dominating the par 5s all the way through the season. No wonder he's kicking some serious hoo-ha, you know, this year.
Well, let's hope that he can make that happen all the way through to the end of the season, because ultimately that's where all these boys are trying to go. Top 5 for a place on the Challenge Tour. And we're just starting to see the golf pick up here. I think the breeze has just dropped away slightly, and that's going to help them with their calculation of distance, certainly. And it will help on the greens as well. Not always easy putting in the high winds. Now, Özell has done a lot of work on his putting recently, this for eagle.
Yeah, nice and smooth. Has he got the pace right? Looks pretty fast. Oh, he's saying go. Oh, my goodness. That was an extremely long putt. And what a great touch from the lefty-hander, Steve Özell. And that's going to be a nice little birdie.
Making his way through this final round very tidily indeed. Here's Özell, playing on the EuroPro since 2010. Does have that win at Concra Wood back in 2014. Now back to Casey. Can he find something in the closing stretch? That'll do for starters then for Brian Casey. So birdie takes him to 4 under.
Yeah, that was a confident putt.
Yeah, he's got chances here, you know. He's not out of it. And this would certainly help Darren Wright's case.
He's not having the best of days so far, Darren. But could redeem himself if this one goes in. And it's an eagle. This guy's relentless. He really is.
What's that, 52 under?
He is the Houdini of par 5s.
That is unbelievable stuff from Darren Wright. And he certainly put himself into the mix. Now, Lasky, can he keep it going today?
Tall, high-rising shot here, taking on this back right pin. Very dangerous pin position for this hole. Whoa! Ooh. And that's caught the bunker. But if you're ever going to miss this green, that is the place to miss it. A little bit of green to work with, little splash shot. You fancy his chances, if not holding it, just getting it really close and making sure he gets that birdie. And look, he looks cool as a cucumber there, doesn't he? Real calm, cool and collected, and just enjoying his golf.
Yeah, couldn't agree with you more, John. He looks in fantastic shape at the moment, Lasky, physically and mentally. Now Casey has made that work very well indeed. We've seen a couple of those stop short on the guys today, but he got that to release very well through to the hole.
Yeah, this boy's got some serious fire in his belly. Good talent. Don't think he'll be gracing our tour too much longer. I think he's going to go on to bigger and better things. He's got a great long game, short game to boot as well. As we see Lasky now, a little splash shot. He didn't catch it quite as much as he want. You can see he's just looking at the lie, just thinking probably not as much sand as he wanted, and it came out a little bit flat.
Another birdie chance for Özell, and with Lasky in trouble, this could be big. And again, a little bit bobbly as he hit through that, but that's a very, very good effort.
Oh, my legs went up in the air then, Simon. I thought he had it.
My co-commentator, Johnny Morgan, jumping about in the box here. We haven't seen a long one drop for a while, actually.
Yeah, we haven't, but I mean, his pace putting from distance has been absolutely fantastic, Simon. Really has. Great pace putting by Mr. Özell. Now, KC. Can he make a nice little up and down here? Oh, just... He definitely read it wrong, because you can see he started on the line he wanted. He looked back at it, he just can't believe it didn't turn.
After such a confident putt for his birdie, I'm afraid he's just trickled that one past and dropped the shot straight away. So he's back to 3 under.
Now Lasky for birdie on 12. You need to make these. You want to pick up the trophy. He's been doing it well so far. Slightly off his left. Yes, and that was a confident stroke. I mean, took the break straight out of it, went dead aim, and it's working.
Lasky moves himself to 7 under and moves himself back out into the lead, all on his own sim. So Özell on 6 under in second, Armitage and Hemstock still chasing, but that looks like a very handy move from the Welshman. And Mark Lasky in search of another win on the EuroPro Tour. Could he do it here at Moor Allerton? The omens certainly look good. Just a shot then between Lasky and Özell as they fight for the lead here at Moor Allerton. More to come from the Clipper Logistics Players' Championship after the break. Welcome back to Moor Allerton in Leeds and the Clipper Logistics Players Championship, and we are heading for a very interesting finish. Some nice little stories developing out on this beautiful course on day 4 of this tournament. Lasky leads by a single shot over Uzel, but Armitage, Hemstock and a few other names in very close proximity. And if someone can just find some big scores here on the closing holes, that could be enough, you know. Now, Hemstock at 16. Sneaking away from him. Oh, and that could be a problem there for Billy.
You could just tell that through a swing. The ball just came out a little bit low and out to the left. And that is going to be very awkward. He might have half a swing and be able to jam it up the green. You never know. And try and do a runner as you come to Lasky now.
Man of the moment. Ball above his feet, but still swinging the club in a beautifully relaxed manner.
And that one drawing too much. Catching that bunker on the left. And that's another bunker shot that he's going to have to deal with. And we're going to see a swing again. And you just see how fit the guy is. All the muscles are pounding out of his body. Loves his salsa dancing, those hips working well through the ball.
Now Hemstock needs a bit of a dance here to get himself back in play.
This one needs a little bit of a draw. I thought he might have been able to get a little bit more out of that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I wasn't in there, you know, getting my back punctured by a brambly bush. He's back out on the ferry anyway, Simon.
Safety first then from Billy Hemstock. Now Uzel, first time he's been in contention for a little while. But once you've won a tournament, John, you know how to get the job done. And I think we always look to those players in the closing stages that have got one under their belt.
Well, I think you're not scared of winning. You know, I think you know you can cross that line. I mean, this man's done it plenty of times, Billy. He's not frightened of it. He's just playing his game, go about his business. And if he's on the trophy at the end of the day, he's doing it. And this is his 3rd shot after punching it out. And it's not the place he wants to be. I mean, that's going to be turning from right to left. His 4th shot there. That's going to be to save his par as we come to Lasky now. Out of the bunker here at 14.
Yeah, didn't have the best lie last time he was in the sand.
Oh, that was nice.
As sweet as you like. That's what he was trying to do last time around. Good control. And you just don't look at sand as a problem these days for these players.
No, you don't. I mean, the wedges nowadays are absolutely amazing. You know, the soles on them help promote the ball up in the air. You can be really aggressive down and through the sand, and it helps elevate the ball up in the air, and you get that little bit more spin as well and control. So gives you confidence as we see Lasky now tapping this one in, I'm sure, for his par. Yes, he does.
Right on, Mark Lasky stays at 7 under, and things now starting to look very, very realistic for him here at Moor Allerton. Now Uzel, can he keep pace with Lasky? Needs this one to go to 7 under.
Well, another monster putt for Steve. I mean, he's had quite a few. Can he get the pace right on this one? Again. Oh, it's looking nice. Oh, my goodness. Endangered the hole, and a nice putt. And there you can see the cheeks are out. Blowing it. Just thinking, my goodness, I thought I had that one.
Yes, the man from Hornsey Golf Club. Not far away again. We were both jumping up and down there. Now, look at the aiming point here for Graham Clark.
Yeah, aiming this one outside right. Very fast. Getting over that little ridge. Let the weight of the ball take go, and it's in. Nicely done. Just shows you how rapid these greens are if you're above the hole. Slick Rick. Graham Clark gets the bird.
Sniffer moves to 3 under. Can he find something? Now then, for Wright, that eagle has helped him a lot, and he's kind of kept it ticking over from there. But not this time for Darren Wright. But if it's not this year, it's not going to be far away for this young man. Looks like a very, very special talent.
Yeah, will and determination. He's got it all, as Darren, as well as this man, Billy. Now this will be a great par if he can convert. Not to be. Oh, and there's a bit. Oh, there's a bit to be done on his return there to save a bogey. We see Steve now tapping in for his par. No problem. Good hole to get a par on, but he nearly got the 2.
Now 3 in a row at the Clipper Logistics Players Championship was looking like a possibility about half an hour ago, but I'm afraid for Hemstock, the chances are drifting, and a bogey there is going to make it very, very difficult indeed. Right, the 18th then here at Moor Allerton, John.
Yeah, and what a beast it is, playing into the wind like James Head Pro was saying earlier, making this hole totally different from the years before. They're going to come past that bunker that was on the right-hand side there. You have no option to lay up. It's 200 yards from bunker to this first bunker that's on the right-hand side now, and it leaves you still with like 140 yards left in for your third to a difficult green that slopes at you, falls away at the back of the green and falls away to the right. And I tell you what, rather these boys than us, Simon.
Yes, I can second that, definitely. Now Armitage with his third. And he's done that nicely.
As you can see, that fall away over the back of the green there, so it just, you think you're going to get that bit of grab, and it just, because it's down and away, it just releases and goes off the green.
Now, a young man from my neck of the woods down in Sussex, James Lynch. Oh dear. Well, it's been a big week for him, going into a final round for the first time on the EuroPro Tour, so this is uncharted territory, but he's handled things well.
Yeah, great learning curve, Simon. Stand him in good stead. Right, through the little first cut. I need to pop this one, come down a little bit steep, pump it through it, up on the green, up the hill. You want to slow down a little bit. Yeah, that's not a bad pace putt from where he was. A little bit of work to be done, but that was not easy. Pretty funky, interesting green this 18th. It's fair, but difficult.
Now Casey, after a promising start to this final round, just can't seem to get things going on the back nine. But the Irishman has played some good golf this week.
Nearly pitching it in on his second bounce, but look at this. This is going to leave him a very awkward putt coming back.
Well, I hope he was watching that ball as it went past the hole. Armitage for par to get into the clubhouse as the leader at 4 under. And does just that. The back half of this season has been a rewarding one for Armitage.
It has indeed. I mean, he's on a crest of a wave. You can see it, 4 birdies, an eagle. I mean, 3 blips, you know, shoots 3 under 68. I mean, it's a nice round of golf, but he's probably, you know, thinking to himself, you know, without those 3 bogeys, I'm right in it. I could be picking up another trophy.
Our leader by a single shot, Mark Lasky. Par 3, 15th. I've already talked about the pitfalls at this hole. But first and foremost, get it on the green, and he's done that fabulously well.
Great club in there, Simon. Definitely hit his numbers. We come to Graham now. 3rd shot in this layup zone. Loads of divots round here where every man and his dog will be laying up. 2nd shot, and that is not his best.
Right then, time to hear from Marcus Armitage, the clubhouse leader, about his final round.
Pretty good. I hit it quite nicely. Got lucky on 14. The tee shot went a bit wrong. I've been cutting it round the corner there every day, and I overcut it today, and you know, hold a lob wedge, which was really good. Apart from that, just didn't really hold the putts that you need to win a golf tournament. But I'm pretty pleased with the finish.
Yeah, well played, Marcus. Now then, if you end up near a fence, things haven't gone quite as planned.
No, but a free drop nonetheless. He's dropped it into a nice spot. You can see the ball. Big, tall, high-rising shot. Trying to land it nice and soft on this green. Stay, and no, catching that back slope and feeding off the back of the green. That's going to be a little awkward one, as we've seen Marcus Armitage try and deal with that one earlier.
Yeah, it's not letting anyone get away with it at the back of 18.
No, definitely not. Casey's been putting well. Not to drop this time, no.
Yes, trying for the birdies, Casey. He's had a lot of opportunities in this final round, but it's the back 9 for him that has just slowed down a little. Well, that was good. Just waited till he was ready to make that putt. I think a little gust of wind.
Yeah, he's playing with the big hitting Darren Lloyd as well. He'd probably be trying to tame this golf course as well with his length.
Now this is where Graham Clark ended up. As you said, just squirted off a little on his approach, but that was nicely done.
Yeah, the touch was perfect. Anything pin eye is good. Now Lasky, what a 2 this would be. Would definitely seal his confidence boosting for the day if this can drop. Oh, And that was a great effort. You're not going to see many twos on there. We haven't seen one yet, and that was nearly our first and our last. Now, Hemstock at the back of 18. No easy feat this, opting not to putt it. Or chip and run it. I'll just get it on the green. Now it's going to feed straight to the left-hand side. And that is a lot of work to be done to save his par.
It's not going to be Billy Hemstock's year at Moor Allerton, and do you know what? That's the first time we've ever said that at this venue.
Well, here's a flare shot for you from Steve. Now, option, do you hook it round this little tree and bend it and come up the green, or is he going to fade it and try and squirt it out to the front edge of this green? He's opted for option number 2, and he's done it extremely well. Yeah, that's when you come up to the ball. I mean, dictates the lie, though. The lie would be everything on what you can do with a shot, and he'd done it well to perfection.
Yeah, and a reminder of the decisions that you're always faced with out there on a golf course, and the pros tend to make the good ones. That's not so good, I'm afraid, though, for Billy Hemstock. A disappointing finish. It's not going to be 3 in a row for Billy, but let's not forget those fabulous achievements of the past. But that back 9 one he'll want to forget.
Yes, he will. I mean, the 5 birdies, I mean, we're solid as rock. We've seen him play it, but yeah, there's 4 blips just not going his way, and it's costing the tournament, you might say.
Well, they're shocked, aren't they, at the clubhouse? Billy Hemstock hasn't won it.
I bet they all had their bets on. They're all like giving up, you know, chucking their tickets away. As we see Graham knocking that baby in, getting his par on the last hole. And what a topsy-turvy day as well for Graham. You know, 5 birdies, 3 bogeys. You know, comes away with a 2 under par, 69 and 3 under. One of his best performances of the year.
Yeah, good to see Graham back in business. Now, Azelle, what a surprise. Another massive long putt for him.
Yeah, when you get one, you seem to get them all. And Steve has had to deal with a load of downtown putts. Wow. And another great pace putt from Steve.
Oh, that's incredible. That's 3 big shots in a row for him. And they haven't dropped, but they also haven't caused him any problems.
Yeah, nice to see a flare shot as well out of the trees. He wouldn't have liked that one, but he'd done it extremely well. And he's walked away with a par.
Now then, Casey. Threatened to deliver today, but didn't quite happen. And someone, for once, getting to putt from below the hole. And was able to be a bit more confident with that, but again, doesn't drop for him. And it'll be fascinating to just take a look at Casey's scorecard here at 18. Holds it out. And there we go. It looked so good, didn't it, midway through the first part of that round with the birdie and the eagle, but then just couldn't find anything else to really light the imagination to follow. So settles for a 70 at 3 under and another decent finish on the leaderboard. But it's still Mark Lasky, the man that is in business, at 7 under ahead of Steve Azelle, and the rest just dropping away. Looks like a head-to-head between those two for the Clipper Logistics Players Championship title. So Lasky pulling a shot clear of the field with just a few holes remaining here in this tournament at Moor Allerton. More to come after the break. Welcome back to Moor Allerton for the closing stages of the Clipper Logistics Players Championship. Billy Hemstock, twice a winner here, had to settle for a 70 today, and he's talking to Kit Alexander.
There's a lot of undulations and hanging lies, ball above or below the feet. How tricky is that?
Yeah, it's difficult with the wind as well. You know, you might have a side wind, and you've certainly got to be able to shape it both ways, I think, and to get close to some of the pins. But it's very fine lines between hitting it close and leaving yourself a very tricky up and down. So it's just tough, really. And
another good performance here this week, a 1 under par final round. How do you assess that?
Yeah, I played really good. I didn't really get the most out of it, but I was happy with yeah, sort of the way I'm striking in that, and bit of frustrating finish, but hey ho. Last 2 years I've finished quite well here, so it seems to take the rough with the smooth, don't you? And yeah, I'm happy with the performance overall.
Yes, and so he should be. He's played some marvellous golf here at Moor Allerton, but it's time to hand the big prize over to the next man, I'm afraid, Billy. Now, James Lynch unlikely to be this man, but he's done well. There's been a couple of times during the course of this final round when things could have fallen apart for James, but he's kept it together well. Oh, I spoke too soon.
Yeah, difficult hole this one though to come into. Very awkward green, 17. Very narrow at the front portion of it. As we see Steve, lofted club, trying to get as much spin as he can coming off the bank, and looks like he's played this extremely well. It's going to release a little bit, but that was not an easy shot. Calm down, ball. That's going to be an uphill putt from left to right.
Yes, but by previous standards, that's a relatively short one for Uzel today. Now back to Lynch.
No, all about the touch. Get this one on the green, let it release. He'll be too heavy-handed. Oh, and he was heavy-handed. Yeah, have his wits about him to knock that baby in and save a par.
Now Darren Wright, the man that's been eating par 5s for fun this year, and he's been doing pretty well on the par 4s as well, but this breeze picking right up again, that's going to affect them at 18.
A little delicate one, just get it on the front edge, and this is what Steve Uzel was looking for.
Yes.
Is he gone and done it? No, he hasn't, but what a chip. Great touch from Darren. Very, very good touch indeed, especially with that wind right behind him, gusting, pin on the front, green going away from him as well. That is, yeah, all the attributes rolled into one there.
And you don't get many easier putts for birdie. So Wright picks up another shot at 17.
We've got Valentino Rossi in the background, ripping it round in his motorbike, as you see Lynch now to save his par. Yes, and he does. Grabbing that left edge. Nicely done.
Yeah, good reaction as well from the Sussex County player, formerly.
Now, coming up the hill, left to right. He's been putting beautifully so far, Steve. Can he roll another one in? Undercooked it.
Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it? When you keep the pace off, you're going to see the borrow, you're going to have the wind affect the putt. But you've got to be pretty brave to hit them on these greens. Now then, let's take a look at this hole, the 17th.
Well, 17 is playing into the hands of the player today. With the wind right down, off, right behind you, you can take these bunkers on the right-hand side. 250 it is to carry the last one on the right. And really and honestly, the corner doesn't come into play. You could play safe, but I think get the big dog out and give it a rip at this green. Definitely enticing you, as we've seen Darren Wright just right near the front edge of the screen, only having to just chip it on, but a very narrow part, smack bang in the middle of this green, which makes it very, very difficult to judge your second shot coming in.
Well, that's to come. Lynch has got to get the first part of the job done. We've seen some huge drives launched today.
Well, he's gone for safety though, Simon.
Yeah, he's not gone after it, has he?
Which I'm quite surprised.
Now back to Mark Lasky in amongst the trees there. They'll be giving him a little bit of protection, but once the ball gets up in the air and above them or out of them, then that's when it starts to move around. Mark Lasky on the verge of another big career win. But he and Steve Uzel locked in the battle at the top of the leaderboard. Now Lynch, after that tee shot, needs to make this count.
Well, coming out of rough, very hard to stop with this pin on the front. Gonna have to pitch this short of the green if he wants to get it close, or it's gonna run past and down the slope. Yes, which it does.
And he knew that as soon as he hit it. He knew that. That's a tricky putt back.
Now this 16th is playing so long, Simon, straight into the teeth of the wind, totally different from probably any other time that they've played this hole over the years. I mean, Moor Allerton definitely got a blessing with the weather, just tricking it up a little bit, this wind. Yeah, what a shot that is. Just look at this swing. Shawning off the follow through, just keeping that ball nice and low under the wind, controlling the spin, ball flight, and doing a great job at it. As we see Lynch now for birdie up the hill, swinging from left to right. He's going to swing late. It's about the pace. Has he got it? Oh, just high side.
Oh, that would have taken him to 4 under, but he's still heading for his best ever finish on the EuroPro Tour. He's been a good tournament so far for James Lynch.
Yeah, I take my hat off to him. Good performance from the young lad. Now Lasky, you might think this might seal the deal. Could it? Downhill, left to right, little knee trembler. Oh, and he gets it. What a well-played hole. You can just tell all the fans that have come out to watch this know how good a birdie that was. Loads of smiles.
Yeah, fabulous work from Mark Lasky, and a little wave to the gallery as well. Right, let's take a look at 18 with Johnny Morgan.
We've come to the last here at Moor Allerton, and what a last hole it is. Par 5, 568 yards, and it's all of it from start to finish. Downhill, drive, second shot to about here, and you're leaving yourself a lengthy one in. And the only reason you're not going to be able to go for it in two is conditions have totally changed. It's into your face, the wind. Also, it's damp ground. The ball isn't running, so the drive isn't going to move very far for you. So you're not really going to be able to take it on unless you just, you know, you hit the ball out of sight and it is your side of the game that you can play. Now, I've got a little 7-iron out. As you can see, a little bit left to right. I've gone driver and a nice 4-iron to position A. Probably a little bit less than what I'd liked. I'd liked probably an extra 20-30 yards there, and I would have given myself a 9-iron in. But, you know, beggars can't be choosers. Slightly neck one, and this is where I finished up. Now, pin today is at the back left-hand side, which means quite an easy pin to get at. 7-iron, with this wind, I'm definitely going to hit one down a little bit lower. So back of the stance, grip down a little bit, and I'm going to have a nice little hold off like that under the wind, and hopefully it's my number. Come on, baby, keep turning, keep turning, keep turning. Hit that green, releasing up, putt for a birdie, hole it for the win. In your skyrocket, 12 grand.
Yeah, it's probably a good time to mention that it is the biggest prize fund of the season. A little bit more money for the players for this extra day's work, and 12,000 the winner's check, and that'll do you a lot of good in the race to Desert Springs Order of Merit.
Yeah, fair play to Moor Allerton to do this. And the boys are relishing it. Oh, what a shot.
Oh. Better than yours, John.
Yeah, yeah. Well, this man's a great player. I've got to play with him a few times, and yeah, he can definitely play a good game of golf. And that was a great shot by Steve. Now, Darren, at the right hay, coming up high. Can he get this one close? Loves par 5s. Oh, and there you go again. Anything you can do, I can do better.
It's been a while since we've had a tune from you, John. Well done. And very well done to Özell and Wright at 18. Now then, Lasky, the man that is in that battle with Özell for the money.
I don't think he'd be having a crack at the green. This would be down the left. And a wise move. Bending it, moving it with the wind. And that's going to be a nice position. Nice driver. This is a hole where you'll definitely feel comfortable on getting it parallel at the top and then crunching it straight down the left-hand side, holding it off a little bit, letting it drift with the wind. And it should leave himself a nice little chip onto the green with that front right pin position today. Now, Steve, can he finish with a flourish?
Well, one of his shortest putts of the day. Oh, no. And he really did need that to put the pressure on Mark Lasky. Oh, it's a very, very good round of golf from Steve Özell, but it wasn't quite what he was after. Blemish 3 though, John.
Yeah, it is. Solid as a rock. 67. No complaints there, apart from that last putt. I mean, putted extremely well all day. It's always nice to hold one more, though.
Doors open for this man then, looking to add to his win in Roe Allen Castle back in 2013. With something a little bit special here in Moor Allerton. He didn't like that one.
I think he was a little bit blocked out. You know, that bunker coming into play there on the left-hand side is obviously just too far to the left off his drive. And he just played out safe to the right-hand side. Now, Darren, another birdie on a par 5. My goodness, this guy's an animal. Look at those, four bogeys, 3 birdies and an eagle. 3 under par, a juicy little 70. A nice round number for Darren Wright. And Steve Özell. Seems like he's having a lovely day.
He certainly is, and time to hear now from the man himself.
Steve, a closing 67 for a 6 under total. How are you feeling?
Pretty good. Obviously, I'd have liked that to have fallen on the last, but I've played solid. I've pretty much posted the number I thought I might be able to post today. and looking at the board just depends on what Mark can do, so we'll see.
A great shot in there to 18 when you knew you had to do it. A little bit unlucky, it looked like, with the putt.
Yeah, it just looked like it wobbled a little bit right, but it's obviously had a lot of wear today, and it's late on. But the greens have been really good the last couple of days. Can't hold everything, can you? So
now back to the focused man, eyes on the prize. Lasky from off the green. We know how fast this can be once it gets going. The touch is good, and that is a very wise move, just putting that up whole side, and I'm sure you'll tap that little baby in for his par. Yeah. And off to the 18th he trots.
Well, it's all been safe and sound for Lasky. Once he got to 7 under, he's looked very good and just moved it on from there. Now, Lynch looking to finish his day on a high.
Lovely swing there, great rhythm. And that one just coming up half a club short. And that could be in a spot of bother down there. Hopefully the rough has held it up a little bit. You see Lasky now out with the big dog on the final hole. Everyone watching. Oh, and he loves it. Picking up the tee straight away.
That's an imperious swing from Mark Lasky, and, well, it's looking nailed on for the Welshman. Now, John, let's just take a look at why things are working so well for Mark Lasky with this drive.
We've seen this swing all day, and rightly so. It is a work of art. The man is the fittest guy on the golf course, no doubt about it. Clears himself out the way. Posture's fantastic. His balance through the ball is impeccable, really is. Boys and girls, take note of that swing. Balance through the ball, supreme.
Now Lynch will be happy with where that ball has finished. That could have been much worse, and that's allowed him to play an absolute gem. Well done, young man. Very, very good tournament for the boy from Sussex.
Now look at that. All the members out. Local support. And look at that. Sean off follow through again. Just playing for position aid further down the fairway. Not quite getting it. Finding the rough. This is going to be hard for him to control the ball. And it lands on the green. Not what he'd have been looking for.
So Lynch for par to stay at 3 under. And he will certainly feature on the leaderboard after that. First time he's made the cut, and he's made that final round count pretty well.
Yeah, just a 1 over par today. 3 under. Good performance from James. I'm sure we'll be seeing him again. Now Lasky with the 3rd. Just find the dance floor if he can. Find that putting surface. Looks very composed and strong and confident. And a towering shot coming over the pin. Is it going to hold on, though? It's not. It's still going. And that's going to be a little awkward one.
Yes, but for Mark Lasky, he is well on his way to picking up another EuroPro Tour title. And he's done it in some style. He's played some great golf today, but he's got to get it all finished. Now, a little word for Jamie Elson. Just fell away in the early part of this final round, the leader after 3. And unfortunately hasn't been able to recover from there. But I'm sure we'll see more of Elson, especially after shots like that.
Well, better late than never. And Jamie will take that. Finishes with a flourish, but as you can just see, I mean, just blue numbers everywhere on that front 9. A few blues on the back, but luckily for him, 2 nice little birdies to finish on 16 and 18. Eases the pain a bit.
Now then, this is it for the tournament. Mark Lasky, he's got a couple for it, so might as well take him. Not quite the grandstand finish, but it's going to be another win for the Welshman, Mark Lasky.
It is. Little tap in for Mark now to become champion at Moor Allerton.
Well played, Mark Lasky. Really did look solid during the final part of that round. Got himself a few numbers under the card early doors, then gave it back again. But look at that for the back 9. Those 3 birdies getting him home in some style for a round of 68. And the win here at Moor Allerton. Well, fabulous stuff from him. And he's the champion here in Leeds. Let's hear from the winner, Mark Lasky.
Played really good. I missed a few short putts out there, which was a bit frustrating, but I stayed calm. And then the birdie at 10 just started to get the momentum going, and then birdie again at 12, the par 5. Just, I was aware of the score, so that little bit of buffer definitely just helped me stay relaxed.
It was nip and tuck most of the way until the last couple of holes for you, really. How aware were you of everything that was going on?
I knew Özell was 2 behind me, I think, when I got to 8, so I thought if I can just keep trying to get one more birdie, rather than trying to protect it, just keep trying to play a little aggressive and make them have to do the work to catch me.
And 5 weeks ago, when you were in hospital having your appendix out, did you expect to be here now?
No, not right now. I'll take it. All good things.
So a great win for Mark Lasky, 2 shots clear of Steve Özell in the end, but still a season best for Özell. For Marcus Armitage, it's another podium finish and yet more money in the bank to add to his 2 wins. Darren Wright also doing himself a few favours, but for Billy Hemstock, it wasn't to be the treble here at Moor Allerton. Well, Jamie Elson, the overnight leader, heading into that final round. It's been a disappointing 4th day for him, with a 4-over, scuppering his chances of another EuroPro win, and not the only man to suffer in some plus numbers conditions on the final day. Well done to Mark Lasky, Guy Jackson of Clipper Logistics presenting the trophy, and a very welcome £12,000 winner's cheque. That'll certainly help in the race to Desert Springs. And talking of that, it has helped a great deal, moving Mark Lasky into the top 10. 2-time winners this season, Armitage and King remain in the top 5. Marcus moving up to 2nd, with Wright and Rye also up there. And Sam Connor leads the race to Desert Springs as we head into the penultimate event.
Congratulations to Mark Lasky, the winner of our first ever 4-day event here on the EuroPro Tour, hosted at the wonderful Moor Allerton here in North Yorkshire. Make sure you join us next week for the final event in the race to Desert Springs. We'll be at the iconic links course, Princes in Kent. We'll see you then.